with what I saw at Texas. When I saw that crowd at Texas,
I
was
told
like,
you. The Moody Center, it's like the old Nick Saban quote. It's haunted.
Yes.
I'm telling you,
Yes.
this place, I've seen enough Big 12 basketball to know that you can't really go there and have success.
Right. And Vanderbilt, it was hard for them, and it wasn't necessarily a terrible Vanderbilt game, but you could just tell that crowd was into it. And Texas is one of those programs to me that when the men's basketball program starts rolling, you pair that with the women's, that has to be an electric atmosphere in those midweek games. And then after football season ends in February, I'm sure Saturdays and Sundays when the men play and then when the women play, it has to be absolutely insane. So Texas obviously getting a big win there. I just feel that that the SEC, we talked about it earlier. Obviously not getting 14 teams in. I think that's a pipe
that
dream.
probably will never happen again.
That's a pipe dream. But I can definitely see 8 to 9 to 10, and I think Texas can slide their way in there. As if the thing was coming out right now, I don't think they're in, but I think that they can obviously work their way in.
I don't know though, because I feel like if they aren't in right now, they've got to be one of the first 4 out or the next 4 out, because when you beat Alabama and Vanderbilt twice within, I believe it was 4 days, that's got to do something for you. Plus, you have the win over NC State. You have a couple bad losses, but I mean, it was just so shocking that we heard last week Sean Miller basically talk about effort. I mean, I feel like these coaches aren't really holding back anymore. They're kind of letting, Stephen Pearl talked about how some guys aren't showing up on time. Nate Oates talked about how Vanderbilt hadn't played anybody, and then Sean Miller is basically, just throwing his guys under the bus half the time about the effort. But I mean, one thing that they did do well last night was shut down Tyler Tanner.
Yep, that's exactly right. Kind of one of the guys, maybe I say a handful of guys. You could put LeBaron Philon in this category. You could definitely put Tyler Tanner in this category. You could put Darius Acuff in this category as kind of the early season player of the year in the SEC.
Correct.
He was looking that way, especially if they went undefeated. He was definitely going to be working his way towards the favorites. But yeah, they slow him down a good bit. There's a good look at his numbers. 5 of 15 from the floor, 3 of 7 from downtown, perfect at the free throw line, 3 rebounds, a couple of assists and steals. So not a horrible game, but definitely off his pace. And I feel like you now have Texas is now laid the blueprint on how to beat this Vanderbilt team. You slow him down and you hold everybody else at bay, and you have a chance to win it.
Yeah, because it seems like whenever it's basically the same situation with the Vanderbilt women's team. When you shut down Michaela Blake's, then who is their next best scorer? Corey Curtis said it best. They don't really have that consistent second scorer, and that's what we saw with Tyler Tanner last night. I know Devin McLaughlin also had a pretty decent night, but I mean, AJ Okereke at center, he didn't really do anything. I believe he had 4 points in like 30 minutes. So, I mean, they're probably going to need a little bit more out of him if they want to be able to keep this up. But Corey also said it best. They're going to drop some games, and Roger said Texas is going to win some games that they shouldn't. So I think this is just more so a product of the SEC being the SEC.
Me too, and a really tough place to play, and they made it really tough there at the Moody Center. 9 of 25 from downtown. That was the numbers for Vanderbilt behind the three-point line. Head coach Mark Byington talked about all those misses.
We missed open shots in the second half, and for whatever reason, fatigue and we went for some threes there towards the end. We're still probably pretty good looks, and we just missed them. And sometimes it's like that. They hit tough shots, and then we missed some. The more concerning thing was I think we had 2 turnovers at halftime, had 8 the second half. And so we were a little sloppy with the ball. That was probably if there was anything frustrating in the second half, was kind of just a little bit off. I think we were pressing. And, they did a good job of kind of forcing us to take mid-range shots and pull-ups, and we're better than that. We kind of got suckered into that. And those are the shots we got to eliminate.